Okay. So we're gonna look. I'm gonna rebuild. I'm gonna build this for the first time and not screw it up like the time that I didn't record it post. This is the first time. So just looking at this vault, I want to show that I'm going to use just a basic ratio of about the depth of this vault being about 25% of the cantilever. Okay, so that was just something we kind of came in as a rule of thumb that we're using, because really that's the depth of the beams that are cantilevering out, right? It's not, a lot of times we think of just a simple vault that if this was a wall here and a wall here the whole way, then it would just be about the vault spanning from here to here, and its depth would really affect how much outward thrust would be happening on those walls as if it's just coming down. But here we're actually, because it's over 3 times its width, we start to get it acting as a beam. And so what is the ratio he's using here, which is about 4:1. Okay, so this will come back when we start modeling this, but not this in a new one. So file, new family, G, adaptive. Gonna be fancy. I'm gonna do it fancy again. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3 points. So I got 1, 2, and a third out over here. Sweep grab, bam. Now, this is what I remember 3D snap on. Ooh. Okay. So last time I just projected points off these points. The time that I'm not talking about. The time that I'm not talking about that didn't work, I had projected the points off the face of the adaptive points, which meant the orientation mattered. So it kept screwing up and going just east-west and not reacting to the moment. So I think there's a way that I could have really worked around that. I think there's the host loop system might have been correct. But anyways, I'm gonna do it the way that I actually got it to work. All the other times I've done it. Yep. Nope. No. Okay. Put your arm down. Posterity. I put 2 points. I make them face away. I do the same thing that I do all the time and say offset. Now, when I'm going to do the same thing I did in the thing that we're not talking about, and I'm going to grab a point. I'm going to go SW, tab, grab that one and drop it on. Okay. SW, tab, drop it on. Okay. I'm projecting out from here. I'm going to just make a thing right now and say new and cantilever. Remember, this was let's call it extension. And it's an instance. Okay. Okay. I'm going to grab this one, you, and I'm going to say you are going to be the same thing. Okay. Now we're going to do the fancy thing over here and make our little snitch and go from you to you. Now I'm going to DE SW, select that, point to point, touch you, stop touching people, snitch. Instance reporting. All right. Now, let's be 1-to-1 on this just to get some movement. I'm going to go into my stuff and say, I want the extension to be snitch. Straight up, bam, done. Shut off. Okay. So now we need the opposite, right? So I can go in, I'm going to make the opposite right now, and I'm going to say new one, extension negative instance. And extension negative is just going to be minus extension.
Also be minus snitch.
It could be. Yeah, don't know. Totally. Yep.
But if you change snitch.
No, but snitch is live. So that's actually smarter because I was chaining it versus them both referencing the one. So actually, it's smarter to write negative snitch. It's usually I have some but you're not right. Usually it's snitch minus something to, like usually I have some preface on it, so then I don't want to screw up an equation twice, but when it's just that, that's
But
works.
if you change the extension, the snitch like divided by 2 or whatever, then it wouldn't change the negative extension. Right?
But it's, yeah, if I put an equation in here of like
Yeah.
snitch by something, then I'd have to make sure I do it in the other one also. But when it's just, if I'm just doing a direct 1-to-1, then it's just as straight. So it's one of those where, in this case, putting the negative on snitch is just as good, actually more direct, because it's not chained through. But if we were to say snitch divided by 2, I'd have to then come back in and make sure I do that one correctly, right? So. The parameter was the extension.
Like the 2 points that we added.
No, I just named it. So that way I could put it to 0 later.
Wait.
You'll see. I didn't even name it. I did make it. I did make a parameter. It's just not, I named offset. It's offset, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't. No, offset's on there. 0.1. Yeah.
He just didn't make it a segment link. He left
It just didn't matter. Yeah, because I'm just gonna say put it to like a percentage. Actually, I'm gonna go back to extension, although in this case it would have worked today, because that way, if there is a proportion that we want to do here, it does actually catch it correctly. So works and doesn't work. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the same thing. Points, SW, tab U, okay. SW, tab, tab U. Okay. Now I want you to go, what am I doing? I want you to go extension negative, and you to go extension negative. All right, now this is where I did a reference line. Two different ways to think about this. I don't know what's easier. Do we want to draw a line, midpoint, lift the midpoint up, shoot something out, or put both up, draw over, put a midpoint, shoot something out? Kind of like 2 points hosted going up and up. It's faster to do this. You're like, what did I just type? I'm going to cut across. I drop a point in the mid, locks already, drop another point on top of that one, SW, tab, got it, put it on there. Okay. I'm going to do a new, I'm going to touch that one and say parameter, new, depth, it's going to be instance. And that's on one of the extended ends. Yep. Okay. Now I want to come in here and say it's going to be extension divided by 4. And it went negative. So I'm just going to save that one and I'm going to reverse it for the other one. Reference line, because I bet you it's going to be the opposite over here. Or it's the fact I went left to right versus right to left. I know it pissed me off. If my habit is always putting it down, SW, tab. Let's see, fail. Okay. Okay, so they're both wrong. So I'm gonna see something real quick. I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna delete all this. Actually, I'll just undo. And I want to see if I go right to left, if it goes positive. And then my whole life, I've been making everything upside down. Going left to right. That's par. It's gonna do it, isn't it? I'll be so mad. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. Okay, SW.
It's like you don't want to.
I know. I'll be like, oh, good, I learned that now. 8 years too late. I did it too. God damn it. I can tell it's already up. All right, well, learned that one today. Nothing. My life's over. I can fuck. So I always draw lines left to right. By drawing them left to right, it makes the up down. So because I normally always draw left to right. And so when I put a dot on there and then I host a point on that dot, up was down. But when I drew it right to left, up was up. So draw your lines from right to fucking left. Oh, that's so funny. That's so ha ha funny.
Wow, I've like been making sure that
Well, I just said right to left is wrong, so I just said right.
All the parameters are equal.
What? Oh, but I'm gonna let me orbit something because it could be world based, and then actually what I said is irrelevant. Because watch this. If I turn this around and now draw it, it could be world based, and then everything doesn't matter because then
You
it.
draw it left, right?
So I'm gonna draw this one. God damn it, people. Which one are we gonna test? Because it's one or the other.
You need to do right and left again to see if it still faces up.
Faces down because this is the other one. I always drew left. I drew this one from that point to that point before, but facing the other direction. So let me see if it's actually so. This should look. This should see. This is what's weird. I think it's orientation, not down. So it's world. I just drew right to left, but I'm looking at it from the other side, and it's down. So it's fucking global. So good luck on that. So you don't know until you do it.
Can you show me?
I will. I'm gonna, as soon as I go in, I'll tag this one and then it'll open up. So yeah, good luck. Left, right, right, left, doesn't matter. Or no matter what, you'll probably be wrong. That's the point. Or no matter what, one of them will be the opposite. But I just did left, right. And I did right to left the other one, and now this is down again. So I don't understand.
can you just change it to negative extension?
Right, but the other one go up, so now I'm like mad that okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, don't. Okay. It doesn't matter. That could be. Is it the point? No, because the point just sits the point, just sits midpoint. Where'd you go? God damn it! I'll put you on there. Point. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, my head hurts. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like I've been drinking and I haven't been. So I don't know what's going on. Exactly. Oh, goddamn coffee. Now they're both faced the same way, so I will have to have a negative offset going out. Okay, so parameters I have, depth. So I have snitch divided by 2 for extension. I've got the depth being extension minus 4. I'm going to add in one more here and just say nose. Even. All right, grab that one, set it on there. Okay. Touch that and say, no, that was not gonna be it. I'm gonna touch that one and say, I'm gonna tell it to be nose. And then I'm gonna put another one on this one. SW. Okay. And I'm gonna tell it to be depth. Because remember, I just said I'm screwing around. I'm gonna have the extension pop out that way. And now I'm gonna tell here, I'm gonna tell nose to be what? Negative depth. And it's a nose. It sticks out. It's a nose. It's a nose. Boop. Boop. reference spline. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. What did you? What's that down there? 12. No, nope, not that one. Tab U. Tab Control. Make it work.
Oh,
Orientation works like a charm. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Vanguard. All right, so I'm going to throw this into a world. We're going to mess around with it a little bit.
What'd you say about hyper?
About what?
Didn't you say like imported a generic, I mean, a pipe? Wait a second.
Oh, no, like I do a pipe where I put offsets. That's what I'm saying. Now what's interesting here is because this is a thing where I think the reason why I had thought about this being offset the first time, why it was just intuit is, because I don't think these actually meet directly. Like if you think of a theoretical point here, I don't know if the arches meet because there is like this. So I wanted the arches to actually be like, if there's a theoretical zero between them, their things don't merge to theoreticals, they offset from it because there's like a gutter that comes out, right? So I think that's why first, when I was doing this the first time, so I was like, oh, I should have it to where they could control their offset in a little bit. Brilliant. Forgot it. All right. Let's just do a conceptual mass and mess around. Fuck around and find out. All right, so what do we want? Actually, that's not fun. It doesn't matter. Actually, let's see what happens. So this was kind of, so I'm going to divide this surface first. And then I'm going to just, let's put a little more muscle into that. And so we could say, hey, load into stupid thing. 1, 2, and let's just put random over here. Okay. We can go back in and say, let's try just always vertical.
Wait, why do we do it?
What do we do?
Use 2 points.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Why'd you jump over there? Why'd you jump over there? Why'd you jump over there? That makes sense. Man. Like my whole world just randomly. Boop. Okay. So sometimes when you change the parameters, it just really doesn't like you. So just re-drop it in. All right. Now that should have really changed its distance. Something's not changing.
Snitching, right?
Yeah, exactly. Snitching. Because what I was going to do is have the snitch actually change with it, but it should have picked. Oh, maybe it picked that line and it just slid along that line. That'd be weird. Let me just throw a point out like I normally do. And remember, I like taking that and saying always. That way I know that it's important. You're important point. You're an important point. You should feel important. Why are you going off over like that? That should have nothing. Why are you moving over like that? Oh, look at that. My whole end isn't right over there. What did I do? Look at that. It's something. Man, that model's messed up. What's going on? What did I do? Oh, did I click the wrong? Oh, I know what I did. But that shouldn't affect anything. I mean, it made a bad model, but it's not. I deleted. I was looking at a weird angle. I was looking like this. And I went from this point to this point and deleted that point and connected to there because I didn't realize that was the nose sticking out. It was just at a weird orbit. But that shouldn't, I mean, that's not, yeah, that just means the model. I it happened that the nose that was sticking out was right next to that point, and I didn't realize which one was the nose, so I just made an end vertical versus I just selected the wrong thing. But that's what I wanted it to look like. See, you're working. Well, you're working fine. Why are you being? You're working fine. Working fine. All right. I get a little weirded out. I'm gonna say instance Z host XY. Override. Don't even just, man. You just, why are you hurting me? It's like, this is like the 6th time I've done this class. I think I'm like not actually grabbing the point or something. I did 12. Oh, wait. Wait. Wait a minute. I know what's happening. It hates me. That's what happened. Saying you're going to record this? No, you're not. Okay. This should not be changing the orientation. This should have nothing to do with the orientation. That line should have its placement, should have absolutely nothing to do with its orient. Go away. Are they not numbered? No. Yeah, I thought I did, but I even like it's just hurt my head. I took off always order vertical, but fine, stupid. But I want to try because I do think that not always vertical, but hitting this and maybe even that one and putting them all as go wait. I want to just try something right now. If we go global Z post XY, global Z should be always vertical. That's like what it means. So I think that's when you're
Did you turn always vertical?
Yep. I don't, the third one shouldn't really matter, but I did it just in case. So global. Yep. Super nice. Slick. It's like a pan flute. All right, that was enough. Is that spline, which is nice down the center, now becomes what you, all those points are exactly where you want to put columns. You could drop them down. You could do whatever like that. You could adapt a fin that you snap. This was kind of fun. It's like coming back and the exterior fin, I might come in model, grabbing that point and just snapping the fin onto that point as the external fin and the front fin that holds that end as a buttress. There's also the idea of these are always vertical, but still could bow how they relate to each other. All right. So let's talk a little bit. I had found some past versions of these diagrams, and I stashed them in this one. Revit, Palagi 42. I see Dieste'esque. So what are some things that are talked about here? So amazing ways of graphically showing some different things. Now, The idea of you're highlighting one of the many, right? Killer way of doing it, goes to the rest, make one solid, make one colored, have one highlighted. I want line weight, so playing with line weight, awesome. The exploding just to explode. It's just, it's cool. It could be helpful. It's not always helpful. So there are very few components in this one. So the idea it was doing that, it doesn't help us understand anything except for maybe just that, like this helps us understand the bay, although maybe those should have been blue also, or you know, the two that it comes down to, these two could have been purple. Or that could have been purple too. So we're like, this is what we're looking at, right? I'm not a big fan of the exploding just to explode. Or if it is, I would have much rather seen, let's say, the reinforcement close with this one and the concrete close to the concrete. The idea that each thing's exploded equally, like you just took the burger and the bun and the lettuce and the tomato and you expanded each equally. Or do you put the bun here, and you put the meat and the bacon here, and maybe even the onions all together there, and then you put the lettuce, tomato, maybe the cheese with that,
The cheese.
because you're putting like what's hot and what's cold, like you're giving them some information with how you're exploding it. You're not just exploding every level. You're saying, hey, logically, I'm grouping this stuff together because it's the same. Or, you know, then you're showing them something. With shear, these are all kind of interesting ways to start to use color for direction. The idea that the rigid columns and the moment connection are the same thing. So they shouldn't have been said differently, but the idea that there's multiple in a row helping in a long line, because there's, in essence, if you push from this way, there's 1, 2, 3, every one of them is a moment connection at the ground. From the other way, you just have a single one protecting, right? So it's the same thing. So moment connection and rigid columns, they're the same thing. They should be labeled differently. It's the number of them that are resisting. No. So these are some nice ones. Also, some like the idea that it's stronger this way than it is that way, using color to kind of show that. This idea of just letting us understand what we're kind of dealing with is helpful. Now, this is a thing where there isn't a diaphragm, but it is a structural form. So there is some resistance in that horizontal plane. It's a rigid, each one of those is a rigid form in itself, but
Yeah, it's not.
no, that was it. I don't think oh no, shit, I have one.
I was just curious about the steel reinforcement, how, like, you would be expected to make those curves adapt.
How would you think about making those to there?
I think you would take a bunch of spline.
We'll do that in Illustrator.
Two ways. I modeled it a few times and then I just drew it in Illustrator because it's just a drawing, right? So the idea of just coming in and making those loops in Illustrator works really well. And I can just promise you, the more in the end, we make drawings to communicate to things. And so when you start to learn like what's beneficial to model and what's beneficial to just draw really quickly, like it's can be really effective. Now I wanted to see what I was doing. So I actually did one of these where when I made that curved surface, I then, so you're which, I divided that surface. I turned on my nodes and I put an increment where I could go boop, boop. And I locked to the points, creating a spline exactly where I wanted them and piped it. And in essence, just put one ring on it and then swept it.
How'd you pipe it?
So probably it's just like Rhino. You put a circle on a spline. So and then you just say so that's where this is what's so this is what's comical because it's like it's so far, we are so boring that it just knows what you're doing. You know, you're like, oh, you're that dumb. That's what it does. It's like, okay, you're that interesting. Good job. It's like auto text. Human race is boring, right? Oh, I didn't. I'm I'm just gonna do a version of this. I remember like really working it out one time, but. Okay, so let's say, and I would say it's a reference line. Do that, I always, just to be safe, I drop a point on it. Where'd you go? And then reference circle. SW. We could change that line, do whatever you want. God damn it. I know.
What?
I like making it a reference. There are times when you move something or have it adapt. So like this whole thing wants to adapt, right? Well, that's a perfect example. If that was a normal line and then we bring this in and it changes, that wireframe wouldn't change. It would stay the exact size because it wasn't a reference line. But now it knows it's live. So when you adjust this and it throws it into a different thing and each one's different, it'll know to adapt those to the points. But if I made this with a normal line and even a reference line here, so I don't even need to say extrusion. It just knows, hey, I'm running a spline with a ring on it. It figures it out. And you've got table going on. So I have modeled it. Didn't matter if you modeled it. I end up drawing them real